there, and welcome to the Pip and Pin Podcast. My name is Megan Nodecker, and I'm a knitwear designer from Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. You can find me on Instagram as Pip and Pin, on Ravelry as Knit Pip and Pin, and in the Pip and Pin Ravelry group. I have lots of finished stuff today. I didn't finish all of it this week, of course, but last week I did the Knit City special episode, so I didn't show any of my whips and faux. So these are actually from the past couple weeks, I guess. And I also have been really focusing on clearing out all my works in progress because I think I had 7 or something, and that's just too many for me. I was starting to get anxious about it, so I've just been clearing stuff out. So I have lots of finished objects to show you. And before that, I have some exciting stuff to talk about. So welcome to what episode is it? 36. It's episode 36. It's October 16th, and it's gray. It's just gray. That's a weather in BC, or in Vancouver, if you didn't know. Gray is a weather. Anyways, so last week I released a book. Katie and I released our third book called Rainforest Knits. And it's a mini collection of 3 patterns. It's Kala, Olina, and Noni. And it's kind of the same variation on a single pattern. So Kala, I don't even think I showed them on the podcast. Maybe when I was working on them. I don't know. I don't have them here either. They're at my mom's house. I'll put some pictures up. But Kala is a little crop top. It has some lace. All 3 of them have the same kind of textured lace detail at the shoulders, and are just fit a little differely. So Kala is the crop top, and so it comes in at the waist, and there's optional, you can even add an elastic waistband to it. There's instructions for that. Noni is the t-shirt, so it's a little more oversized, it's longer, it has a split hem. And then Olina is a slightly A-line dress. So I mean, you can obviously alter the length of it, but I think on Katie, who I made it for, it comes kind of just above her knee. So Rainforest Knits is the collection of those 3 patterns. You can find the ebook on Ravelry right now. You can also buy the ebook on our website, and I just listed we have some physical books printed as well, which were very lovely. And those are on our website, which is pipandpin.ca. So if you're interested in taking a peek at that, you can go and find those there. Since we released this book, I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something fun. So I have started. I put all the information up on Ravelry already. I started the Rainforest Knit Along. So it's a knit along. It starts right now and it runs until December 31st at midnight. So right to the very end of the year. And you can knit any of those 3 patterns. So Kala, Noni, or Olina. And I'm also going to include the 2 other patterns that we released this year. So Mema, which is, I think that one was released back in March or April. But it's a fingering weight little open cardigan with some honeycomb brioche. And then Cat Bells, which I just released in September, which is the worsted DK weight all over texture pullover sweater. So any of those 5 patterns you can participate with. Whips are allowed. So if you've already started one of them, great. You could go use that as your entry. You can double dip in other knit-alongs. That's about it. You can... Oh yeah, I opened up the chat thread already. So if you go onto Ravelry, you can see the chat thread there. It also has all of the information about the knit along. And all the patterns are listed there as well, the ones that are eligible. And then there's going to be some prizes. There are going to be prizes for finished objects. So probably I'm not going to do it right now because nobody's going to be finished yet. But in a couple weeks or so, I will open up the finished objects thread in the Pip and Pin Ravelry group. And you can post photos of your finished objects. If you want to share your progress on Instagram or wherever you social media, you can use Rainforest. Oh, did I not write them on here? No, didn't. You can use the hashtags Rainforest KAL, I think. I'll put it. I'll double check that and make sure it's right. And then Pip and Pin as well. And if you are someone who wants to donate a prize, that would be wonderful. I would love to gather some things to make some prize packages. I don't know exactly how many prizes I'm going to do. I know there's going to be at least one in the finished objects thread and then maybe one in the chat thread. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how much things I can collect. So if you do feel like donating any prizes, that's amazing. Just contact me and we can figure that out. What else is going on? I have a trunk show, 88 Stitches. I will be there on November 9th from 11 to 4, and that is out in Langley. And actually, there is a trunk show. Yes, I will be at the trunk show. I'll have my books and my patterns and lots of goodies to look at. You can come hang out and knit with me, and I think it'll be a really fun afternoon. I've done a couple trunk shows at 88 Stitches before, and I always really enjoy it. So if you want to come hang out for the day. There's also a Pip and Pin knit along leading up to the trunk show. So if you go to the 88 Stitches Ravelry group, you can find all the information there. Basically, you need to use yarn from 88 Stitches and knit a Pip and Pin pattern, any pattern. There's no restrictions on that. And you don't have to come to the trunk show to do prizes. That's kind of just where we're having the wrap-up party thing. So yeah, I'll put all the information for that down in the description box below. But it's coming up quick. It's already the 16th. That's going to be a couple weeks. I feel like things are finally like settling, getting a routine with Georgia and Mid City's done. And that's always the like big thing. And I mean, I feel like I'm really busy now still. Like there's many things that I'm working on. Like there's the sock swap that I think the deadline for yarn for that is today. So I should be getting all the yarn for that. I'm just winding minis. I have underneath me here, I have 3 like little bins full of yarn that need to be wound up. And then in my bedroom, I have a giant Rubbermaid that is packed full. Like it is full. It's all lined up and organized so the tags don't get wrecked, and it's very full. But it's almost the fun part. The funnest part is making all the sets, and yeah. And there's going to be a pattern for that one too. I haven't forgotten about it. I see it right there, but I still have to take some pictures and send it to Katie to get formatted. So there's still a little bit of work on that to do. But yeah, in beginning of November, I'll have a new pattern for you guys too. Finished objects. I have a lot of them. I'm gonna start with my oldest whip, which is this one. And if you've watched the podcast before, you've probably seen this one. This is my Lilium tee. It is one of my designs from 2 summers ago, I guess. And it is knit with 6 and 7 fiber Amaranth, which is a non-superwash fingering weight yarn. which is really lovely. It's in the violet colorway, and it's just nice and tonal, and it feels really nice. Like I'm so used to working with superwash yarns, which I really like, but it is a nice change to work with something. It just has a different feel. It has a different feel. It has a different drape. It has a different look. It literally just takes the dye differently. Yeah, this shirt, I really like it. I do. I'll make, because she made kits for this, Rachel of 6 and 7 Fiber. She made kits for the shirt when it came out, and so I bought one, and I started it in October of last year. And according to Ravelry, it took me 1 year and 1 day to finish this. And that is probably the longest, aside from blankets and like kind of scrappy ongoing things, which don't count. Like in anybody's books, those don't count. 1 year and 1 day. That's a really long time, especially for like a garment to wear. And I'll talk a little bit about the pattern and the modifications that I made. But so it has a little folded hem to start. It's top down, just like the majority of my designs are top down. But it has this little folded hem with kind of a pearl edge. So it's a very nicely finished edge. And it's all done in the round. And then you do this lace panel here. And it's kind of like raglan shaping. Because if you look at it like this, and if you continued on those increases, that would just be a raglan. So it's looks, but if you flip it this way, then it's a V-neck. This part here is a welt, which is very finicky to do, but I think it makes a really, really lovely design feature. Kind of makes this raised bump thing. And then just some gathers at the front to add a little bit more fabric. I did mine, and then there's some increases at the sides of the body too. The original one was tunic length and A-line. At some point, I don't really know when, but at some point I just kind of stopped doing the increases at the sides. And I also shortened it quite a bit. I had the pattern originally is tunic length. And I like that, but I already have that. So I wanted this one to be just a little bit shorter. So this one kind of hits right below, kind of below my belt line. Like I wear high-waisted pants all the time. So probably a couple inches below my waist is where this one stops. And it's flipping up a little bit. I had some trouble. I'll finish talking about what I did. And then the sleeves I modified a little bit as well. It's a little bit of short row. In the original pattern, there's a little bit of short row shaping, and then it's 1 by 1 twisted rib, and it's just this little one. All I did to modify it was I kept the short rows, except I did it all in stockinette, and then I made a little bit longer and did 1 by 1 rib at the end there. And I do like it. If you saw me at Knit City I was wearing it on Saturday, and I was also wearing it at the Knit Night on Thursday. Then this is what I was wearing. The one thing about the non-superwash yarn is it is pilling a little bit. And I haven't done any, like this is 2 full days of wear. And it's mostly just right here because that is where, mostly just right here under the arms because of course there's lots of friction there. And then right here because that's where my purse is. And that's kind of to be expected. I mean, I'm not disappointed in it at all because working with a yarn like this, it's a fine merino. That's going to happen. I have a gleaner. I haven't gleaned it at all yet, but I'm sure after gleaning it once or twice, like it'll stop pilling. Generally that's kind of what happens. These are most likely, as this is a high twist yarn as well, so most likely this is just pilling from fibers that were already kind of loose. So once I glean it a couple times, it should be just fine. I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, so that is my Lilium. I like it. I'm really, really happy that it's finally done. It was just one of those projects that I cast on for myself. And I honestly don't make a lot of time to knit for myself generally. So I'll talk a little bit more about this later, but I actually made a commitment to finish this one because it was weighing on me because I didn't really want to start anything else for myself until I finished this one. But it was a WIP for so long that I was kind of over it already. Like, not that I don't like the finished thing, but I feel like I would have liked it even more if I had finished it last year, you know, when it was still fresh and when it was still new. It'll still get lots of wear. It's very soft. It'll be a nice one for the winter for sure. Just a simple, like, it'll be one of those things where I can just throw it on and with a pair of jeans and it's done. It's not fussy. It's not complicated. It's a t-shirt. The second thing, I've shown this thing 100 times. If you saw me wandering around on Sunday, you probably saw me wearing this Sunday at Knit City. This doesn't have a name. It is a new pattern I've been working on for ages, and it is made with Ancient Arts Let's Go yarn, which is, this is their Just Before Midnight colorway, and it's a worsted weight, beautiful, beautiful yarn. And they just came out with a fingering weight version of it, which I got a little bit at Knit City as well. So I've talked about this a lot. This pattern has given me lots of grief. Mostly the color. It's still not entirely, it's actually not really anything how I originally intended it, but I am really liking it. I was wearing it on Sunday. I feel like I just kind of need to wear it around a little bit to see. I also need to reblock it. Like, it's because this originally was like this folded collar thing. I kind of showed it 2 episodes ago how it would fold up and become a thing. That was just too heavy and too much for the sweater, so I undid it, and then I undid the short rows, and then I was like, I'm just gonna kind of block it and see what it does. So I just dunked it in water and like laid it out. But I think it needs, like, what it really needs for me to finally decide whether or not I have to do this stupid thing again is I really just need to block the whole thing, do a really good soak, a really good wash, block it out. Because if you can tell, I can tell, but this piece keeps wanting to fold like this because I did a really good block when it was like this, and then I tried to block it out like this really quickly, and it just didn't really work. So I think I need to give it one final block, and then it's done. Hopefully. I'm calling it a finished object because it's as finished as it's ever been, and this is the most happy that I've been with it, and I do really like it as it is. I think I just need to at Knit City, I felt like it was just a little bit messy. And I feel like blocking one more good solid block will make that great. This yarn is so lovely. It feels really good on, like, it just feels like a super amazing cozy cardigan. The third finished object that I have is a pair of socks, and those are these guys. And these are also a new pattern that I'm working on. This is my second time doing them. Only because the first time, there was nothing wrong with the pattern. It was just the first time I did them in quite a dark yarn, and it didn't really show the lace very well. and it wouldn't show very nicely in photos. So I knit them in this one to take some pictures with. And this yarn is Black Cat Custom Yarns in Steam Powered Giraffe, which is I think like a 75-25 merino nylon. Typical 80-20 maybe, some sort of, no, it feels like a 75-25. I could be totally wrong though. But yeah, so that is a pair of socks that I don't even get to wear. It's not like sweaters. I can wear my sample sweaters around and then give them a clean and a wash and they're, good to go for samples again. I can't wear sample socks, which really sucks. I guess I could have only made one, but no, you need a pair of socks. What else? This last one is my not Brookmere hat. I was wearing this in my last episode, and I was working on it, and I think I finished it in Knit City. No, but I was working on it at Knit City. Originally, my intention was to make this into a Brookmere hat, which is one of my patterns from a million years ago. But it starts with 1x1 ribbing and it goes for like a long time because it's a folded brim, the Brookmere is. But I just really liked the 1x1 ribbing, so I just kept going. And the yarns in this one, it's 2 yarns held together. So the purpley gray speckly one, that is a yarn that Sam dyed for me. My friend Sam, she dyed it, which is super cool. And so you can't actually buy it. And then the mohair is Anna Perrin, and Pebble is maybe the colorway. And then this guy, this giant thing, is a pom-pom that I got as a gift from Yarn Bowler. So you can find if you want a giant pom-pom like this, I will put the link down below, just like the links to everything. And it's just perfect. Like, it just is amazing. We had some I wanted a hat to walk Georgia to school because it's like a 10-minute walk to her school. And every day she asks if we can drive. And I say, it's going to take me longer to get you in the car, drive there, find a parking spot, and then get out of the car than it will be just to walk there. So we're walking. But I wanted a hat to wear to walk her to school because it is starting to get a little chillier. And I don't know, anyone who lives in the Lower Mainland here probably felt it, but we actually had this freak week of super cold, clear weather, which is really, really weird for for this time of year for this area. Usually it's either wet and rainy and still kind of humid. Like when I walk Georgia to school, I'm just wearing a raincoat. Like, it's not actually very cold outside. If I was wearing a hat or a sweater underneath my raincoat, it would be way too hot. Or it's sunny and warm to me. I run hot. Some people are being like, what are you talking about? But no, we actually had a week where it was actually cold, which was nice. That's my favorite weather. It was clear. It was cold. You could see your breath. You could wear your hat. So I was wearing a hat and a scarf and I don't know. It was really nice to be able to break out some of my knit stuff because I can't wear like today. It's kind of rainy. It's drizzly, but it's still 15 degrees. It's not cold outside. No, it's not. So those are all the finished up things that I have. And I have some works in progress, and I have 2. And aside from my scrappy blanket, which we've already established, scrappy blankets don't count for anything. That's it. I have 2 works in progress, and I'm going to finish up these 2. Then I'm never going to knit again. That's not true. But I'm going to start something new. But I'll talk about these whips first, and then I will talk about that. I will be knitting, I promise. Oh, that's such a big tangly. Okay. I'm just going to leave it. So the first thing here is a pair of socks, and these are my October socks for the Grocery Girls Sock Bash, which is a year-long knit-along. Well, it's kind of like a month-to-month / year-long knit-along. Basically, you knit a pair of socks within the month, so you have to start and finish in the month. And they do themes every month, but you don't have to follow the theme. Like if you do the theme, then you get 2 entries, and if you don't, you still get an entry for your finished pair of socks. And then if you do every month, then you get entered into a like big grand prizey thing. And I'm doing every month. I've done every month up till now, and I am doing it. So this is just a plain vanilla pair of socks. There's no heel in this yet because I am going to cut in an afterthought heel. This yarn is stripy yarn. And the contrasting is Sweet Fiber sock in a colorway Starry Night, I think. And then this stripe is Mud Punch Yarn's Cat's Pajamas, but I've modified it. So here it is in my gumball. And it's a really nice stripe of this gold, this purple, and then this kind of speckly one. Now, I think I gave it all to Georgia. But originally, this yarn has 4 stripes. And the 4th stripe is, or was, this pink, which, oh, you know what? You can see it here, kind of. Which is nice. Oh, it's blowing out. You can't actually see it. But when I was knitting it, like, it looked really nice in the ball and in the skein. But as I was knitting with it, I was in Vancouver. I was at Knit City, and it's just starting to be fall. And I just wanted a pair of like fall socks. And the pink that was in here was like a bubblegum pink kind of. And it was quite bright and like poppy. And I just wasn't feeling it. It was nothing to do with anything else. Like, it's not a bad color. I didn't, not like it. I just wasn't giving me the feeling that I wanted. So I actually went through and I cut it out. So I will have some ends to weave in where I've cut the pink stripe out. I think it goes, where does it go? In between the purple and the speckle one. There's supposed to be a pink stripe. Yeah, so I will have some ends to weave in, but that's okay. Yeah, so I just have to finish a little more than half of this one, and then cut in some heels, and I'm done. Again, just want to reiterate, absolutely nothing wrong with the yarn. It was just what I felt at the time. I was working on them at knit night, and like I did a full repeat and a bit of it, and it just wasn't right. And if you feel like it's not right, it's probably not right. So you should just fix it before you get too far. Because I know in my heart of hearts, if I would have kept going, I would have been disappointed. And now that the pink is gone, I really love them. So, oh. Sorry. Also, these live in this bag. If you were in Knit City, we did have some of these for sale. And I don't think they are on the website quite yet, but this week I'm in the process of listing everything on our website that came home with us from Knit City, which honestly isn't a lot, but hopefully by the end of this week, there will be an update in the shop. And there are a couple of these bags left, and they're just perfect for socks. I just carry this one around with me all the time. It slips right on my wrist. Some stitch detail on the bottom there. They're just lined with simple black fabric on the inside. Just really utilitarian bag, kind of. But I do have a couple of those left. So I will be posting them on our website soon. And I'll make sure that if you follow me on Instagram, I will be, I'll let you know when that has happened. Anyways, and this guy this lives in my Lone Larch bag. This sits on my coffee table. And in here is my courage shawl. And I'm so close to being done. I have maybe, I think, one more little section to go, and then I'm done. And I even put it on a big needle or a big cable so that you could kind of see it. It's still a little scrunched up. It's going to be huge and amazing. So this is my nearly finished courage shawl from Shannon Cook. And this is using a variety of yarns. Most of it is sweet fiber. And then the black is Madeline Tosh. And it's a worsted weight shawl with these different stripy sections. I think in the pattern you use some spin cycle yarns, which is that kind of fadey, gradienty thing. I've just used scraps and what I had in my stash. I found all this in my stash, which is quite an accomplishment considering the size of my stash and how very little amounts of anything other than fingering I have. But I have enjoyed the heck out of this shawl. I started it in the summer, and I worked on it for one weekend, and then I put it aside and finished up a bunch of other stuff. But it was my road trip thing. So every time I work on this, I think of Lumbee, which is pretty neat, because that's what I worked on the entire drive there and the entire drive back, which is about 8 hours of driving. And then this is just what I've been working on for the past week. Aside from, the past week, really, this is what I've been working on. And I'm so excited to have it done. I just want it, it's going to be so good. And I really want to add tassels to it. I'm going to have to see. Oh, no, we're good. I'm disaster. I'm going to put it down. I really want to add some tassels to it, but I don't know if I have enough yarn, because I think my last section is going to be this is how much white I have left. I just finished the last white section, so there's that. So that's out. My last section is the black and the pink together. I might even run out of the black too soon and have to do the border in pink, but that's okay. And then the only other color I have left is this ochre, which is this goldy color, which I like, but I don't know if I want the tassels to be this color. So we'll see. We'll see if it even needs tassels. It kind of needs tassels, but anyways, so those are my two works in progress. And once I've done that, I'm gonna switch up my style of knitting a little bit. I really like finishing things. And it's gets a little stressful for me when I have too many things on the go. Like over the summer and this past fall, I've kind of had lots of things on the go. And I don't like it. So I'm going to take a page out of Sam from Hand Me My Knitting's book. And she devised this way of capsule knitting almost, which I think is really cool. I'm going to alter it a little bit because she's not a designer or anything, so she does all personal projects, but I'm going to do it so that I have at least one personal project at a time. Basically anything, what it is a 3 project set, kind of. So she does it where she'll have some seasonally kind of, or the projects that she's really excited about, she'll cast on 3 of them. And then and then work through those before starting new ones. I'm going to have at least one of those be a personal project. So either for myself or Georgia or Justin. But I really like the idea of, she's been doing it for about 6 months now or something, and I feel like it's working really well for her. If you take a look, she has the Hand Me My Knitting podcast. I think it's a couple episodes back. She talks about it. But I just think it's such a great idea. So you have 3 projects, and that's it. And right now, until the end of the year, I'm not going to count my socks because that's kind of a separate thing. And like, it's really only 2 more months that I need a November sock and a December sock, and then that's done. And I'm not going to do the sock bash next year. Not in the same way as I did this year. But yeah, and then to have 3 projects and 3 kind of different projects so that you always have a little bit of variety, but things are also getting finished. So like Justin wants a sweater. So I think for my next 3 projects, it's going to be Justin's sweater. We just went out this weekend to find yarn for his sweater. So that's going to be one. It's going to be DK-ish weight, stockinette, pretty straightforward, simple thing. He just wants a Henley, kind of like what I made him before. It's going to be easy peasy, no problem. And then I think I wanted a headband in this. So I think I'm going to do a headband. So that's ready for when it starts to get cold again. And then my third one, what was it going to be? Oh yeah, I was swatching for a new shawl wrap with the yarn that I got from Fiddly Dye Works. It's going to be a little bit different than this, but I think I'm going to start that. And then so a shawl, a sweater, and a headband. And that's a good variety of projects. It's a good, I don't know. I just think it's going to be good. And then once all those 3 are done, then I can start on 3 more. And yeah, that's a good number. I feel like this one is kind of I don't know. I might, because there's another hat that I kind of want to do too. No, I should just see if I can stick with the 3, because the point is to work on things and finish them. So if I start Justin's sweater, because knitting for other people is always kind of hard to get motivated. If I start that, then I know I'll have to finish that one before I can start another one. So I'm really just waiting for his yarn to come, and I have these 2 projects to finish up. Then that's it. That's it for knitting. That's it for talking about things. Yeah, and oh yeah, I guess life stuff. I was gonna do a little section about what's happening in my life, and really, George is the one with the life right now. She's very busy. She's going camping. She's going camping with her Sparks group, and I feel like that's crazy and awesome and a little scary. But I think it'll be good. She's really excited about it. She goes for 2 nights. It's at a camp that actually I went to when I was a brownie, and it's about 10 minutes away. So that's nice and easy and close. She sleeps in a cabin, and they're doing like a Halloween themed camp. So I think she's gonna have so much fun. She's also been selling cookies, and we got 2. I'm not like a keener when it comes to selling cookies, but I know that you can get prizes and stuff for really selling cookies. Not really into that, but we got 2 cases because they have to sell 2 cases, or they have to try to sell 2 cases to help pay for things like the camp and all the activities that they do and stuff. So she got her 2 cases, and she's kind of sold them to, we went around our building once, and to family and to us and things. And then all of a sudden there was no cookies left. And she was like, well, Mom, you told me we could go and like bring the wagon around and go sell our cookies. And I don't have any cookies left. So I had to go and pick up some more cookies yesterday. And we went out. And I was thinking like, oh yeah, we'll go out for 20 minutes and sell a couple boxes and then come home. And she was just so gung-ho about it. She loved it. So we went door to door and everyone was very nice to her. And most people bought a box of cookies because who can say no to a 5-year-old in her little uniform with some cookies? You can't say no. Even people who told me they couldn't eat the cookies bought the cookies. So I think we were out there about 20 minutes in. I was like, oh, do you want to go back? You know, we can always come back out and do more. And she's like, no, I just want to keep going. So we were out there for about an hour and she sold all 2 cases, maybe less than an hour. And she sold all her cookies. And the guy at the last house was really disappointed because he wanted like 4 boxes. And I'm like, oh, this is the last one. And he said, well, you should get more cookies and come back to my house. I don't think we're going to get any more cookies this year because they do it in the fall and the spring. So we'll save some of that cookie enthusiasm for the spring as well. What else did we do? We went on Saturday. We went to 88 Stitches, picked out some yarn for Justin's sweater and Georgia's sweater as well, but she didn't know that. They didn't quite have enough of, it's kind of over there. I'll show you when I start it. But they didn't really quite have enough of the color that he wanted. So I bought what they had and then just bought the rest online. It's like this orange kind of color. I think it's going to be nice. And it's going to be super cute because they're going to have matching sweaters. And then since we were halfway there already, we went out to New West because we really like going to New West. Front Street is this weird little road kind of by the railroad. There's antique stores and things like that. Justin wanted to go to there's like a surplus store there. So we went to the surplus store, we went to some antique stores, and he bought me a plant. He comes home with succulents for me every once in a while, which is really cute. So he bought me this plant a couple days ago because he said it looked like bananas and he thought that I would like it, which I do, and it does. And so we needed to find a pot. So while we were at one of the antique stores, I found this little copper pot thing that just fit perfectly. It was probably more expensive than the plant itself. That's okay. And the lady was a little aghast that I was going to use a beautiful copper pot to house a plant in, but that's exactly what I wanted it for. It was also Thanksgiving, which is nice. So happy Thanksgiving to my Canadian friends. I hope everyone had a lovely weekend. It was a long weekend, so we went to Justin's parents' place out in Hope and had dinner and hung out. Had a good time. Then George and I came home, and on our drive, it was just so beautiful. It was like cool and sunny and beautiful, and the leaves were all lovely. So we stopped at a farm and got an apple, and then we went for a walk along the deck. And that was about it. And now it's just... now that's it. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked this episode, be sure to give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to. That helps the video get out there and get more, just gets more. And then I can put out more videos and keep doing this. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.